What up, guys? So, this is my hopefully as quickly as possible review of Justice League, which I saw today in IMAX. Now, somehow they either converted the entire movie in IMAX or they shot the whole movie in IMAX because the whole screen was filled the entire time. So, my guess is actually they just cropped it for IMAX because it doesn't make sense that they would have shot the entire movie in IMAX. It just doesn't make sense because it's something that before a movie even gets shown, they start bragging about how, oh, we shot it in IMAX. And the framing just looks very strange. I don't know how to explain it. Other than if you see it in IMAX, maybe you guys can explain to me. Who knows? So let's get down to the brass tacks. Was it good? I would have to say it's watchable. Now, it's really only good in the fact that it progresses a story. Like, Superman was dead at the end of, Batman vs. Superman. And, spoiler alert, I'm sure you all knew that he was going to be, showing his face in the movie eventually, which he does. And he actually pretty much says one of the best lines in the movie, which is, when he gets resurrected. I won't tell you how he gets resurrected, but I'll just tell you that when he does get resurrected, him and all the other superheroes kind of have a battle because he's out of his mind, right off the bat. So the coolest thing in the entire movie, honestly, was when he goes up to Batman and he says, "Do you bleed?" I mean, it was a cool scene, pretty much the best scene in the whole movie, actually. And I'm just gonna sum up the whole movie as quickly as I can. The best, if you want to read an article, go to Digital Spy. They have a Justice League review of it up, and I looked through it, I thumbed through it real quick. It's pretty much dead spot on. I don't want to be cheesy and say it lacks heart, but it does. It's very strange. If you see Zack Snyder's films, even up until this one, all previous movies of his, they have a certain style to it, especially during most of the visual effects. This movie somehow lacked it. It lacked all sense of unique style that he usually carries with him through all his movies. Even if you love or hate his movies, he would set up very epic, cinematic looking CGI scenes. And in this film, I would say somehow that's not really even existing. There's hints of it every now and then, but honestly, I could have watched the whole entire movie and not known who directed it. That's how bland the directing was in the movie. I don't know why. I mean, if you watch, maybe it was rushed. I really don't know. The Flash had sort of the best special effects in the movie with his speed. That's really about it. The Aquaman, there was an Aquaman battle that was kind of cool underwater. That was cool. But these are just nitpicking little sections where I could highlight what was good about the movie. And just the bad is that it just falls sort of flat. I found myself watching the movie and I just kind of just watched it. Like I didn't have, for a good 75 to 80% of the movie, I just sat there not smiling, not doing anything, just sort of watching like I was just watching effects, watching people act, but I didn't feel connected to the movie for whatever reason. I even felt way more connected to Batman vs. Superman. And I don't know who really is to blame. I think, I almost think the fans are to blame for the screw up, honestly, because Batman vs. Superman got a lot of hate. And to be honest with you, that movie blows us away. And some people might not agree with me at all on there, that's fine. But I'll tell you why it blows it away. And at least it had, I could go watch it right now and I feel just connected with it. I think the scoring has a lot to do with it. Hans Zimmer and, Junkie XL, they put their spin on the Man of Steel. That was Hans Zimmer only. And the scores that he creates are just, they connect you to the movie. Danny Elfman is known for creating some cool, some cool themes, but they're not like these epic scores. They're just like, oh, hey, that's Danny Elfman. Okay, I know his style. And he's good at what he does, but he just doesn't fit with this Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman type stuff. It's like you want to hear the Wonder Woman theme, or you want to hear the Man of Steel theme, and they're just gone. Wonder Woman's theme does play a smidge in the movie, and you're like, yeah, keep playing it. Get me hyped up a little bit. When Danny does this stuff where I couldn't even tell you what he did in the movie, except for maybe some slow scenes that were going on. It just, he was just like basically just blending into the movie. He added nothing to the movie. Whereas Hans Zimmer can practically take over a movie. He can say, I'm going to make this movie 2 to 3 times better than it would be if someone else was to score it. And I think that's why I liked Man of Steel so much, because the score just takes the movie to different levels. And Batman vs. Superman, the score took you to different levels. It is what it is. And Digital Spy pretty much just says it just played it too safe and by the numbers, because people complained that Batman vs. Superman wasn't dark enough, or was too dark. So like then they made the rated R version, and then people said, yeah, the true rated R version where they were fighting and the scenes were a little bit more violent was like pretty good stuff. And it felt like, it just felt, Justice League just felt cold. It just felt devoid. And I don't know why. I don't know what it was. I mean, was it just that Hans Zimmer didn't score it? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I don't think so. I just know I didn't feel this epic momentum as the movie was going on. I just felt like a plateau. Like, it's just strange. Like, the intro to Batman vs. Superman was epic. Like, they took the end of Man of Steel, and it was like a connecting sequel, and they did it just so good. It was just so good. I mean, like it or hate it, the intro was epic. I loved it. And maybe the movie didn't get any better, but it really certainly didn't get much worse, aside from maybe some of the confusing storytelling. But overall, I like Batman vs. Superman better, especially the Ultimate Edition. So, the only thing I didn't agree with Digital Spy is they said that they might have liked it better than Batman vs. Superman, and that's about it. I actually disagree, because I watched it again when I watched it. I think I actually watched it like 3 times. So here's how I'm gonna end this video. The fact that Mission Impossible 6 basically, in my mind, sort of ruined Henry Cavill's acting in this movie, because he had to have a mustache. So now here's what I don't get is, like, it just said for the reshoots of Justice League, he had committed to this other role, so he had to have a mustache, and they would not let him shave it for whatever reason. So in tons of reshoots, and I'll go into this in a little bit more detail, he just basically had to have his upper lip and his mouth, not really his jaw and stuff below, but all of this section digitally fixed. They had to digitally erase a mustache. And even though there's a lot of CGI in this movie, obviously, you cannot mess with a face that does all the acting. So because it's just so obvious and horrible. It just was like, even the very first part of the movie is him talking like sort of like as if someone's like holding up a cell phone and recording him, and it doesn't look right. It just looks like we're watching a cartoon, and it just ruins Superman. And you don't want the movie to be ruined because of some stupid mustache. It's just I couldn't get over it. Anytime I saw him, I was like, is this going to be, hopefully this part isn't going to be altered, but it was. Hopefully this part isn't going to be altered, but it was. And I do believe that my favorite part of the movie, like I said before, was when he said, "Do you bleed?" to Superman. It wasn't altered. That part was indeed perfect. Almost every scene he was in, Superman, was a reshoot. So supposedly, if I'm going by the the news or the reports, because his upper lip was fixed in almost 80% of any time he was on screen. Maybe 20% wasn't. Maybe even 15. I don't know. There was barely any screen time of Superman that wasn't altered. So what did they shoot originally with Superman? Nothing. It just boggles my mind, guys. It just boggles my mind. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Go to Digital Spies, read the article. I'm pretty sure that my review sums up what they didn't like about it. There's hardly any real chemistry between these people. They're just in a room together. Unlike the Avengers. So for whatever reason, I'm not a DC or Marvel fan, either one. I want both franchises to be successful. And DC is just, they're dropping the ball. And I don't know why, because Wonder Woman's film, great by itself. Especially the reveal at the end. I got emotional twice seeing it. Man of Steel, loved it. I'm sure the Flash's movie could be great. He's great. He's a goofy guy. He's maybe a little too goofy for the Flash, but I don't know. Maybe the Flash was sort of goofy in the first place. I really don't. I'm not a comic book guy, but I do watch the TV show, and I like his Barry Allen as well. So he's way more serious. He's not as goofy as the movie version. So that's it, guys. If I had to score it, I hate to say I would probably grade it maybe a 6 out of 10. It's just like, if they hadn't digitally altered his face and I could see his acting through the movie, because literally, like, by doing that stupid mustache crap, it became a joke. I mean, I wanted just to laugh at it, but I felt so bad for the movie. Like, I just feel bad that they had to do something so stupid. I mean, screw Mission Impossible 6. I can't say that it would have saved the entire movie. No, I can't say that. But it would have made my score a little higher. I might have said a 7.5, but I have to say like a 6.5 out of 10. I don't know. Like, I left the theater not very happy. I left it just, I guess I saw this movie now, check that off the list. And that's not how you should leave a movie. I mean, it's terrible. I can't wait to see what Angry Joe says, because he's probably gonna shoot a brick. He's so psyched about Superman coming back to life and stuff, and it could have been so good. At least that part could have been good, and it just was ruined by this stupid CGI mustache. Oh my God, guys, just terrible. All right, that's it. That's my video for Justice League. Hope you guys liked it, and till next time, later.